Hi, guys. Thank you so much for joining the Royal We Live. We're live. It is Monday night, and I want to thank you guys so much for being here. I'm going to wait just a few moments for some people to go ahead and sign on. This is the brand new Join the Royal We channel, and this is where we are going to be doing the ongoing Royal We Live show. Hey, what's going on? How are you guys? There's everybody. I'm going to, hey, Taylor. Taylor's in the house. What's going on? Hey, Free to Be. How are you? Hi, Mary. Hi, Jessica. How are you guys? I'm so excited you guys are here. I'm looking forward to talking with you guys. I'm looking forward to the community tonight. And I'm looking forward to hearing from you guys as far as what you feel about the last video that was posted. Hi, Skylord. Skylord, how are you, man? I dig that name. Hey, KK Bootsy, what's going on? How are you, Jessica? It's good to see you guys. It's good to see everybody here. I'm gonna wait just a couple more minutes here. I'm gonna turn the music up a little bit because it's pretty low. There we go. That's better. That's better. I remember last week, the first week back, people were wondering where the music was. So there it is. And I'm going to let the music play just for a minute here while I make a final connection here. Of course, I forget some of the connections. This is what happens when you take a break and you have to come back. You leave out some of the important connections, guys. So we're gonna get that taken care of. Not a big deal, and I'm all set to go. All right, guys. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and turn the music down, and we'll go ahead and get started. How is everybody tonight, by the way? Can you post the music? Daddy needs some music energy. Yes. You know, I will post the music. I'm thinking of making at some point some kind of a music video using this song. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. I'm not sure. Sounds like fun. Sounds like it'd be fun. But I would need some people in the music video with me. So I'd have to go and gather all of you guys up so you can take a part in this music video. And we'll do that. What's up, Tanya? How are you? Yes. You know, I actually made this song when I was coming out of narcissistic abuse. I'm just going to be honest with you. This is where this whole vibe, I have about, I want to say 9 songs that I made that are all kind of similar. I got together with some friends of mine who play guitar, and I just went to town. I was wrestling on the inside with some frustration and with the anger, all the things that you have with narcissistic abuse. And I poured myself out, and this is what came out. And it seems to fit. So anyways, guys, I'm so glad that you're here. That's about enough of that. Let's go ahead and get started with tonight's show. I'm so glad that you guys are here. Thank you so much for joining the Royal We Live. Now, obviously, let me go through some of the basics. This is where you guys get a chance to talk as a community, share your love, also call in. I encourage you to make your telephone calls with whatever you are going through right now, whatever you're experiencing, what struggles you are having in your life. Not only that, but if you have questions about the video that I posted, I did post a video on this past Saturday, and the plan right now is to upload an organic video every Friday, have the live discussion on Monday. Hopefully the live discussion will have something to do with the organic upload. So if you do have questions about prayer and narcissistic abuse, please do not hesitate to call. Why did I make a video saying that prayer doesn't work? I'd love to chat with you guys about that. The plan is the organic video on Friday, which is going to be this Friday, a new organic video, the live chat on Monday, and then somewhere midweek, probably Wednesday, I'm going to do a highlight reel of tonight for the regular Royal We channel. So that being said, guys, let's go ahead and go over some of the basic stuff. If you are new to join the Royal We, I do encourage you to subscribe. Hit the bell notification, guys. The bell notification I found out is super important. Uh, you will not be notified of when we're going live unless you hit that bell notification. YouTube algorithms has it set up to where they kind of they skip on that. They don't notify everybody. Even if you are a subscriber, they won't notify you when we're live unless you hit the bell notification. Finally, do connect. This is for you guys. I'm here for you. So I encourage you to reach out and make that telephone call and talk about what's going on. And there's got to be something that we can break through with you to help you in your healing journey. And I'd like to go ahead and introduce the moderators. We have Blue. Blue, thank you so much for being here. I saw you here. Thank you. Blue has been with the Royal We for a long time, and we do have a telephone call. And it's a private number, but if you hold on one moment, private number, and I will get to you as soon as I introduce the moderators here. We also have Taylor Zabel. I saw you as well, Taylor. Thank you so much for being here. Taylor has been with the Royal We for a long time as well. So has D. Dahl. And also a brand new one as of last week. Tanya, you guys know Tanya from the Facebook group. Tanya, thank you for being here. All of you, thank you for being here so much. You are a complete, amazing contribution. You're more than a contribution. You are the royal we. You truly are. So thank you guys for being here. And I do got to put this out there. A warning: 18 plus content. We are talking about abusive situations, possibly emotional situations, and even sexual yeah. Anyways, I don't know what was about to come out, but something to that extent. And so, anyways, guys, viewer discretion is advised. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to do a quick shot of the live chat just because it's there and I can see you guys. And let me go ahead and take this telephone call. While we're here, you're live on the Royal We. Thank you so much for calling.
Hi, Kevin. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Again, calling from Israel.
Wow. How is everything over there in Israel?
Oh, great. You were greatly missed, but in this time, I joined the group, and I don't like saying my name on YouTube videos, but
Mm-hmm.
I'll say hi to Tanya and Blue and Caroline Hill, people, and another name that I don't remember, but another wonderful woman that is so much support, such incredible people. I feel really lucky,
Yay.
and
Uh,
and
give
your new
them, yeah,
videos are incredible,
thank
Kevin.
you.
You put so much effort into it, and it's very much appreciated, and really I love it.
Thank you. Thank you. You know, I try to, because you're from Israel, you'll get this too. And I do see some people who comment who are from Israel, and they'll correct me in the comments if I mistake a word or a meaning, especially when it comes to the Hebrew language, because as you know, a lot of my faith in particular is rooted in your homeland, and so there's a lot there that I dig into personally as far as trying to understand just the history and of abuse, of which ties in deep into the world that we live in, right? I mean, and
Yeah.
we all see and we all experience narcissistic abuse. And one of the things that the royal we, it's been on my heart from the very beginning, is to scratch and dig away this whole thing that is causing it to feel like it's something new when it's not. It's been around since the beginning of time. It's part of the world that we live in. It's the entity, the force, the powers, the principalities, whatever it is that you want to call it. And so there's a lot to dig in there. And so, for you in particular, you'll probably notice that I'll probably be digging up some language and some words and some understandings. Uh,
Well, if you need
so
any help, I'll be happy to help you with Hebrew, and also I'm very connected to the Bible from the Jewish standpoint, but God is God. I mean,
yeah,
it doesn't
absolutely.
really matter how we connect or how we. practice our belief and traditions,
Right.
And I have deep respect for Jesus. He was a healer and also Jewish, actually. So we're like brothers, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think what you're saying for I watched the video about praying for the narcissist, and actually I had a really hard time with God when all this happened because I do believe in God, and I'm not religious, but I do believe in God and connect to the Torah, to the Bible, to teachings of Kabbalah, and what is going on? Actually, what I feel is going on is like the war between light and darkness here,
Right.
because I mean this. I also take that from your videos when you actually emphasize very simple things that are so visible about how they do not actually follow the path of God,
Mhm.
you know.
Mhm.
And
Mhm. Well,
yeah, it's chilling.
it is, and it's interesting, and I'm glad that you liked the video because I did get some comments in the video. There were some people and some comments that indicated, you can't put faith in a box, God in a box, and we're going to keep praying and this and that. And I wanted to make sure that I put this out there, especially for you guys, that I would never, ever, ever put God in a box or anything like that. That's not what the video was about. The video was about the it wasn't about
It's about us, not
yes,
about God. It's
thank
about
you.
us
You
not
knew it.
wasting time
I love it. I love that
um,
you're already there. You knew exactly what I was going to say.
praying for
Yes.
demons. I
Yeah.
mean, it's good for normal people,
Right.
people who are going through hardship or maybe, are messing up, because we all mess up, and we should
Right.
pray for each other
Yeah.
to be better, but
The
we have the
video,
intention of
yeah.
being better.
The video was in no way, shape, or form an indication of any kind of limitation on God or something, or your what you believe, the faith that you believe. But the limitation is on us. The limitation is our understanding of prayer and how we're using it. The whole concept, the whole idea is if you're in a situation you're not supposed to be in, does you no good to pray for that
Yeah,
situation to work. It's it's
that's true.
it's counterintuitive. It is you might like I indicated, you might as well, because you're going against the laws of nature. You might as
I
well
loved what you
eat
said
that
about the
cake.
choice,
Yeah,
about because we did receive free choice when we were thrown out of heaven.
right,
This was our sort of two-faced sword, or two-sided, double-edged sword. Sorry,
right.
that we made when we decided to eat the fruit, of knowledge.
Sure.
So
Yeah. And this
yeah.
week, just to let you know and let others know, this Friday, I am following this video up. Okay. I'm pretty excited about this video. And again, for those of you who know the Royal We and you follow the Royal We, you know that I'm not intending to preach. That's not what, even though a lot of people are going there, they're like, man, you even look and sound like a preacher. But I don't want to isolate anybody. But I am going to follow up that video with another video this Friday on prayer, very specific prayers, but this one is going to be prayers that work for healing from narcissistic abuse. And I found them, and I'm not going to give you away where I found them right now, but I found there's 5 of them. There's 5 prayers that will get you out of the situation and bring healing. I found them, and I'm excited to share it. It
Oh,
didn't. It
that's exciting.
it didn't take. It didn't take. To be honest with you, it didn't take long, and everybody's going to recognize where it's from. But I don't believe it's been talked about in the way in which I'm going to present it. So I'm looking forward to that. So look for that this Friday. But it's in follow up to this past video. So hopefully I can get in there tomorrow, actually, in that church where I was. I'm going to go back there to do the filming of that.
Well, Kevin, I'm going to let you go. I was
Okay.
just really excited to see you again, and I would like to ask you, if you can, if you want to publish your music, because it rocks and it's so good. I also make music.
That's awesome.
So I love it. Yeah. So thank you for being here, and thank you for being back, and
You're
thank
welcome.
you
Thank you for
Blue and
calling.
Tanya. So happy to meet you. Okay.
Right on. Thanks for calling.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
I always love it when we get telephone calls, especially from out of the country. That was really cool. Thank you so much for calling back. And the phone line is back open again, guys. And yeah, so I wanted to just follow up again on the video. I know the video that I posted was indeed a little bit uh, confusing, can cause some confusion for some people. I'm not trying to isolate people. I just want to bring in some truth and some healthy understanding. Listen, guys, the heart behind that video was actually from my own experience. Okay. I come from a strong background myself of faith, and I saw a lot of the things that I believed about faith. And it has nothing to do with my faith. It has nothing to do with what I believe in. It has everything to do with the false narratives I have been given regarding how to practice my faith. Okay. A big one is in prayer. We've been told that we've got this free pass and we can go write love tickets and free prayer tickets to everybody and change the world, sprinkle our sunshine all over the world. And you know what? That is not at all what as I look deep into the faith. That's not at all what I believe, and that's not all what the Bible. It's not what it says. Nowhere does it say that. Right? We are to anticipate and get ready for a lot of difficulties. Right? And we're actually seeing this. There's a lot more difficulties to come still. Right? I firmly believe that we are just in the beginning of seeing some of the difficulties that we're going to be up against. And so it was important for me to get that out there. I was in particular very big on prayer. When I started experiencing the narcissistic abuse, I was in prayer while I was going to visit the people in my life, and I would be praying, let this be peaceful, let it go good. You know what I mean? I had all the prayers, but what I didn't realize, my biggest mistake was that I kept going to them. I kept going to them. I knew it was wrong. I knew I shouldn't have been around these people. I knew I needed to stop. I knew it, but I was going against it because in a stubbornness, in a hope perseverance, in a stubbornness of faith, I believed that if I keep going and just try to sprinkle faith and sunshine and love, that it's going to change everything. And it didn't change anything. It made it worse. It made it worse. This is where I started to get called judgmental when I was trying to be loving. This is when I was being accused of thinking I'm better than everybody because I was using my faith to kind of put that light, if you will, in people's faces, and they don't want it, right? And we're told this. We're told this. If you're a person of faith, you're told this in the word. You're told that the world doesn't want your light, right? The light shines and it's bright, and the world would rather be in the darkness. And so you're going to experience abuse by the people who you love and who you hope to impact with. You might experience some abuse from them as they push you away, as they reject that light. I was literally one time told, don't bring your God around us. And you guys, and I'm not even that much of a, I'm not a preacher. I don't walk around preaching everywhere I go. I like to be loving. I'm the type of person I'll put my hand, on your shoulder, say, hey, how are you? Is everything okay? But even that alone, guys, in this world and culture of narcissistic abuse, that alone is enough to set someone off. How many of you know that? Have you experienced that? You put your arm around somebody, you just say, "Hey, how are you?" And it's almost like you trigger them instantly into some kind of a rage. You don't expect it, right? You think that you're showing love, you're ready to receive them, but we're up against this entity and this principality, the powers and principalities that want to believe. This is the narcissistic abuse, the spirit of narcissism. There is nothing wrong, right? That's the spirit behind that. There is nothing wrong. And so when you even ask, how are you? Sometimes, depending on how you do it, it can almost be, how dare you think you're better than me, right? Really scary, really backwards, really interesting. And yeah, so telephone line is open, guys. I would like to hear your guys' thoughts. I would like to hear your comments, even if it's about that video and the video that we posted this Saturday. I would like to hear your stories. I think we all would if you had some confusion or if you had a moment where you thought that uh, prayer was something that you wanted to do, or maybe it was rejected. Uh, but go ahead and call in and share that, or any other questions or any other issues that you're going through. You're welcome to call in and talk about that. And I'm going to go ahead and read through some of the chats here. It looks like you guys are having your own uh, communications going on here, which is fantastic. I see some conversations on gaslighting. Yes, gaslighting is a terrible, terrible thing. Is somebody going through gaslighting? Gaslighting is very, very difficult to navigate. It really is. It's this is gaslighting is where they are setting things up and then completely twisting it around and lying to get you confused. And it could be as simple as saying something, and then when you catch them on it, they say nobody ever said that. It could be a lot deeper. It could be in my personal experience, the gaslighting that I experienced a lot of was more in the form of people doing something that they know is wrong, that they know is mean, that they know is cruel. And this is probably a very typical way in which narcissists gaslight you. They're doing something that they know is cruel. They're doing something to you with the intention of hurting you. It could be name calling. It could be uh, cussing at you. It could be just the tonality of their voice and the way they're yelling at you. And what they'll do is when you let them know, hey, that's not cool. Is there something wrong? They'll instantly switch on you and say, no, nothing's wrong. Nothing's wrong. It wasn't bad. No, it's just the way you took it. It's the way you perceive it. Okay, that's gaslighting. I mean, when we think about it, guys, nobody's stupid. You know when somebody is angry at you. You can feel the hatred jump off of abusive narcissists. You can feel it literally jump into you, right? So you know when there's hatred, you can feel it. And so to have somebody then turn around after you feel that hatred and tell you either no, it's just the way you perceive it. There's nothing wrong, right? And then they usually turn it around on you. Why are you creating problems? You're dramatic, right? This is after they cuss you out and call you names, right? They'll say you're being dramatic. This is typical gaslighting. Okay, very confusing, and it can just crush you. This is the type of stuff that drives you insane. This is the type of stuff that fills you with anxiety, okay, and panic attacks, because you don't know from one minute to the next if they're going to be cruel or mean, or when they are cruel, if it's on purpose or it's not on purpose. Are they joking? Are they not? You're trying to fit in with the jokes. You're trying to understand. You know what I mean? And we need to be at this place where, no, you know how it sounded. You have discernment. You know what it was. You know from where it came, right? Whether whether it came from a place of hatred and darkness and animosity and hostility, you know. You don't have to wait for them to tell you, yes, you're right. That was from a place of hatred, because they're never going to. They're going to tell you whatever makes them look good. No, I was just joking. No, that's how I joke. No, that's how we are. Now, come on, you're dramatic. They're saying all this stuff because that makes them look good. Again, they're constantly in a place of power over you. They can never uh, be equal with you. There's no equality, like I talked about in the video this past weekend, right? There's no room for equality when you're dealing with the ego of a narcissist. The ego has to be posturing itself in a position above you, has to be macho posturing, or even virtue signaling, as I was talking about. Whatever it can do at any given moment to place itself above you, to not need your counsel, to not listen to your plea for justice, to not listen to your desire for equality, right? These are the things that the narcissist ego does not want. So this is why they will gaslight. They'll jump from cussing you out, literally hitting you with hatred, to I didn't do anything wrong. You're perceiving it wrong. Okay. And oh, got a call from New York. And caller from New York, you're live on the Royal We.
Hey, Kevin.
Hey,
This is Katie.
Katie, what's going on? Long time.
Not a whole lot.
Long
Great
time.
to talk to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just found this channel in the past week, but I've been listening to your other channel for maybe 2 weeks now, and
Right.
I just wanted to tell you first off how much I appreciate all your videos. They've been helping me so much.
Thank you.
I recently went no contact with my entire family
Okay.
as of Mother's Day this year,
Okay.
and it's been pretty rough. But your videos, what I love about them is because I'm a Christian and found out about narcissism in the past, I'd say probably past 5 years, and really in the past 2 years have began to understand the spiritual dimension, if you will,
Right.
about it. And
Mm-hmm.
it's something that not everybody gets. You know, there's a lot of narcissist channels on YouTube and a lot of stuff online that you can read, but not everyone addresses the spiritual component of it. And
Right. Right.
it's very real.
It
So
is.
um,
It is.
it's it's almost. I was thinking about this today. It's almost like, there's no gray area anymore in the world. There's just narcissists or us, and the people that are neutral don't even seem to be neutral. It
Right.
seems like people are picking our teams
Yeah.
as time goes on.
You're absolutely right. You are absolutely right. And I sense the exact same thing, and I have, which is really wild because a lot of people, including myself, would say that we don't tend to be that black and white. We never wanted to think in terms of being that black and white. As a matter of fact, I used to pride myself on being a very open person, right? I would have no problem, and I still consider myself an open person, open-minded individual, meaning that I have no problem loving somebody. If I don't understand their way of living, or understand their lifestyle, I could still love on them. You know what I mean? And I'm sure you could too,
Hmm.
if it came down to
Right.
somebody who really needed help, right? Your natural gift of empathy is going to come out, okay? No matter what race or preference or lifestyle, whatever it is, if somebody's really in need, you're going to have that. But something's happening with narcissistic abuse in this one area where this gray area is getting wiped out, right? And it has everything to do with the hostile intentions behind it, the desire for control, okay? And this is especially true with parents and with family, right? And I'm sure that you've experienced this,
Hmm.
that even in your adult life, you see this hostility and this desire for control, right? Coming from your parents, coming from your family, coming from your
Yeah.
siblings, okay? And in this
Yeah.
area, in this area of life, there is no room for gray. How do you establish a gray area with people who want to control your life, demean you, devalue you? There's no gray in that, right? I mean, it's a matter of your own health and safety, versus, I mean, and when it comes down to that, you have to be black and white. You have to let your yes be yes and your no be no, right? And I believe
Hmm.
that it's priming us all to live more of that. Yes be yes and no be no. And I believe as time goes on, we're going to learn and find out that a lot of the things that we were open-minded about, we shouldn't have been, right? It's a growing experience for us, right? We're changing, we're growing, and we're being sifted, and we're being set apart.
Mm. Amen. Yeah, so
Yeah.
true. And um, it was like for the longest time I had tried to go no contact with them. I mean, I had a very traumatic childhood, and I mean, I still have nightmares from time to time. But they've lessened since I went no contact. But it took me so long to get to that point because it was like I wasn't thinking of myself it was like I had to ask permission. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like
Right.
I never have really felt in control and assertive enough of my own life that, oh, I'm allowed to make this decision. And just talking with my husband over the past few months about it, and him seeing how upset he gets, seeing me upset,
Mm-hmm.
and realizing, I can't allow them to ruin my life and my marriage. I have to love my husband enough to, I left my family, I'm starting my own family now, and
Right.
it wasn't fair to him. And that's really like what woke me up to,
Right.
wait a minute, I'm almost 40 and I'm letting my family still control me in ways.
Good for you.
And
Good for you.
yeah, I mean, it was the hardest thing I've ever done, but I know it was the right one. And I haven't noticed any videos if you've done any on dreams, but I've had a few dreams since then that I believe they were from the Lord confirming that I am making the right decision. And they always involve me like walking away from them or trying to have a conversation with them in the dream, and they're completely stonewalling, ignoring me, or
Right.
they're the one dream I had where I was walking and my sister was walking ahead of me down a road, and she was super far ahead of me, and I kept calling to her, and she wouldn't even turn around or wait for me or say anything at all. And then after a while I couldn't see her anymore. And I had a couple dreams like that, and I was like, well, I think that I did the right thing. I have peace about it.
Right.
But your videos are helping because the pain's still there, because there's that part of you that thinks, well, maybe maybe something will happen. Maybe they'll have a Ebenezer Scrooge revelation. They'll wake up and be like, oh wow, realize that they've just done all this messed up stuff. And
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Here's where I think that where I believe parents and even children, this is where it all gets really crossed up. First of all, the Bible, and this is a faith-based believer, it clearly says in the beginning, it's an instruction, right? Therefore, a man and a woman should leave the mom and dad and then become one with the spouse, and the two become one flesh, right?
right,
It's common in a lot of these stories that these they moved so far apart they never saw each other again, right? If Abraham left his family and parents and ventured on and never says that he ever saw his parents again, right? Joseph went through a huge amount of time. Moses, right? All of these characters. So either by choice or by force at some point, depending on what your calling in life is, you may have to face that. And somebody asked me, Kevin, you're a dad, and I love my boy, right, and my daughter. And what if one day they leave and you never see them? And I thought about it. My response was this: well, I better hope I do a good job at raising them, because that is the responsibility of a parent. And this is what's getting messed up. It's responsibility versus unification. Too many families and people are into this whole unified thing. Oh, this is our clan, this is our blood, this is our gang. No, no, it's not. You as an individual, you have blood that's been formed in you that is different than your parents. They could have illnesses and diseases that you would never have being born because you're your own, right? You're born, they're responsible to raise you, and that's it. They're responsible for you. But it's not a unification. You're not you're not bonded and united for life. That's for you and for the covenant that you make, right? Your spouse.
right,
That's the unification. Parents and kids and siblings and brothers and sisters, they're not unified. Unification isn't there. Responsibility is there. Instruction giving is there. Growing is there. But unification is just that covenant that you make, right? That's all that we see, at least from an ancient Hebraic perspective, right? But in
right,
today's culture, in today's world, we're surrounded by billboards, and especially around Christmas time and holidays, because it makes a lot of money. So you get the Walmart signs with the whole family and everybody around the Christmas tree, and all this and that, and it really turned into a culture of people who just really stay close to home. And so Parents never leave that role of instructor and teacher and responsibility. As long as you stay in their life, they're going to feel somewhat responsible for you. And so this is going to be that narcissistic control. You're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong, right? They're going to have a
Yeah.
difficult time separating themselves from that role in your life until you literally just step away and say I'm out. And you allow enough time to where you heal, and then when and if you go back, you're a different person. You're a grown woman. You're able to say, don't talk to me like that, woman, even though you're my mom. Don't talk to me like that, woman. Don't talk to me like that. Don't talk to me like that, man. Don't do that, right? And that's okay because you're an individual, right? You could still honor your family. And a lot of people get this twisted too. What does it mean to honor? That doesn't mean you live with them and you live next door for all of your life, allowing them to dictate what you do and how you raise your kids. That's not what honoring your parents means. Honoring means you just don't go out into the world and you don't speak ill of them. You don't crush them. You don't That's what honoring them means, right? And we take
Right.
that as, well, I gotta visit them 3 times a week, and we gotta have dinner 2 times a week. I mean, you're what you're doing is you're enmeshing your worlds, and you're ensuring that you can never find your own place and establish your own family. But I'm going to tell you something. When I married my wife, uh, I thought so, and this is where I experienced the narcissistic abuse. It was with in-laws, crushed me.
Mm.
I gave my all trying to fit into a family. That's what I did because I thought that's what I had to do. I have to be a part of that family. And the more I tried, the more hostility I was met with because I'm not like them. Different worlds. And it wasn't until God, through all of this, really just kind of pushed me out. And when I was in my lowest and weakest and just broken place, and I was telling myself all I wanted to do is be a part of that family, what I heard was, I never called you to be a part of that family. I called you to become a family, right? And so, and this
Mm.
is this is this is for you too, right? And it's for your husband. You two are called to become a family. You're not to be just an extension of what your family was. You are to become a new family. And likewise with your kids, it's the same thing. And one day you either kick them out, right? Or like birds, push them out of the nest, whatever, or they leave on their own. If you did a good job, they'll always want to communicate with you, and that's okay. But you got to know when to say when and say it's your life now, right? It's
Yeah.
go make your family, right?
So true. Yeah.
I know that was long-winded,
Yeah.
but I hope it helps
Oh
you.
no,
I hope
thank
it
you.
brings some assurance and affirmation to your decision, right?
Definitely, definitely. I appreciate you and your channel and everyone here in the chat and the Facebook group too, because you guys are awesome and it means a lot to have a support system.
Good.
So thank you.
Right on. Thank you so much for calling.
All right. You have a good night, Kevin.
You too.
God bless.
Bye.
Bye.
Family is definitely a difficult one, guys. I'm actually going to be making a video that deals with family, with siblings, with parents, and that relationship dynamic. It's definitely a difficult one to navigate. I still get questions all the time from people wondering, what do I do? What about if it's your mom? What about if it's your dad? It's my family, and it's hard to separate, to get that, especially when you're raised by a narcissistic family, because the control that they want to maintain has been instilled in you. There's a lot of, this is our family and this is how we do it, and they really create this, and I've seen this. Narcissists can really create this gang. Family becomes a gang. It's not intended to be like that, right? It can be, and perhaps for some it works out, but not for everybody. It didn't work out for me. For a lot of you, it did not work out. It's not what you want, to be a part of a gang where there's a hierarchy and you have to submit top of the hierarchy, because this is where you get into this hierarchy of the family. You got the king and whoever, the queen in the family, and then you have the golden child, and then you have the scapegoat. So if you're going to live in this hierarchy structure of family, you're going to have to submit and understand that you're going to be a part of this narcissistic hierarchy, and you're going to have to fight for this position. You either accept that you're the golden child or the scapegoat, or you just get the heck out. You say, I'm done with this. I'm not going to fit into your hierarchy, gang style family, narcissistic circus, right? I don't want to be any part of that. I'm going to go start my own family, right? Or you can go and find your family. If the family that you're born into does not resonate with you, you don't have the same values, you don't have the same morals. And this happens all the time. Just because you are born into a particular family and family dynamic doesn't mean that you grow up in agreement with their lifestyle, right? You don't have to. There's a lot of people that don't. There's a lot of people who have to leave their family because they change faith, right? It happens. And so it really just it goes to that point that you are not your mom, you're not your dad, you're not your siblings, right? You are your own unique fingerprint, if you will. You are your own unique blood stamp, not by siblings or some, heritage, but by an ultimate designer, creator, right? You have a calling on your life. And so this calling that you have on your life will at some point require you to take that, sometimes that painful step of realizing, man, I can't be around these people very much, even if it's a mom or a dad or brothers or sisters. You may not be able to be around that, right? So I hope that makes sense to you guys. And I know I'm very long-winded tonight talking, trying to make up for the lack of telephone calls. Some of you guys better get on the phone here. How are you guys doing tonight? And hopefully everybody is doing good. Everybody had a good weekend. And I would be typing with you in the chat, except I'm not a fast typer. I am a very slow typer. I don't know how Blue and how these others just, nonstop post stuff. It blows my mind. But I'm so thankful for that. Live Life Happy Wednesday is my birthday. I plan to do something this year. It's been 8 years since I've done anything other than be disappointed or cry. Live life or happy. I got an idea for you. How about you go skydiving? That would be something. That would be something. It'd be pretty bold. And I'm only saying that because for my birthday, that's what I wanted to do, and I didn't do it. I chickened out the last moment. So it's something I still would like to do at some point, is to skydive. And Julianne Andrews, thank you so much. But happy birthday. Happy birthday. I bless you on your birthday. And I hope it's an amazing birthday. Mary, you will call next time. You can call this time. We still have some time here. If you have a question and it's burning, get it out. Because sometimes if you wait, you'll lose it, right? So Kevin Reed Blues post, which one? Lynn or Kevin, I'm not able to call on my phone plan. I'm out of the country. But I wanted to ask for advice and tips on how to be more assertive towards others. Thank you for the question, Blue. You posted it like a billion times. I did not know you were trying to get my attention. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, Blue. I figured you were there. I figured you were talking with other people, Blue, giving them advice. But that's a great question. I wanted to ask for advice, tips on how to be more assertive towards others. I have found that it comes down to knowing. It comes down to knowing you, who you are, what your goals are, what you're trying to accomplish on a moment-to-moment basis, on a day-to-day basis. And it comes down to knowing your own values and your own morals, right? So being assertive And there's a difference between being assertive and being a bully. You don't have to go around and be a bully. This is what abusive narcissists do. Okay, they're not really quite sure who they are, so they flow and wave around with the wind, and whatever this person says, they're into that. Whatever that person says, they're into that. They just kind of go along easy with the ideas of others, which can make them very abusive and can have them choose sides and this and that. So being assertive is different. Being assertive is knowing who you are and being grounded in that. What do you believe? What are your values? What are your morals? How do you believe people should treat one another and act with one another? And if you narrow these things down and you come up with your own personal core beliefs, and it's something that you're able to walk out. So, for example, I don't like to be around people who cuss. I don't. But here's the catch. I don't cuss myself, and I make sure I don't. I don't like to be around name calling. I don't call people names. I mean, my goodness, I can't even remember the last if I have ever called anybody names. I mean, I don't. When I was growing up, I was punished. I had a heavy-handed dad in my life, and if I cursed or used, I was punished for it. But despite that, I just don't like it. I don't like to be around it. So since it's something that I know that I don't do, it's a value, it's a moral, it's a heavy belief that I have. So I'm able to easily assert myself if I'm around people and say, listen, can we not say stuff like that? Okay, especially if I have my kids there, can we not talk like that? And it's easy to do that because it's something I really believe in. It's not me just trying to be right. It's not me just trying to voice an opinion. It's me asserting, hey, I have a boundary here, right? And that's okay, right? It's got to be something that you truly want to believe in, and you're able to walk out in your life. Okay. Then the other way to be assertive is to make sure you're not going into places that you don't belong, right? It makes no sense. Kind of crazy if you think about it, to get all, maybe I'm not a girl, but I'm speaking to you ladies, right? Makes no sense to get all dressed up, get tight little dress skirt, whatever, and walk into the local bar where there's going to be drunk bums who are going to be saying things about you, trying to pinch your leg or hip or whatever they do, right? It makes no sense to go into that environment but then try to set these boundaries. No, don't touch, don't talk about, don't look at me, don't do that. Here's one. The assertive thing would be for you. If you want to be an assertive woman, assertive girl, you say, I don't want to be here. I'm out. Doesn't matter who you're with. Doesn't matter what friends you're with. They may poke fun at you. Oh, you're a prude, this and that, whatever. You're being assertive. This place doesn't feel right. The vibe isn't right. Yeah, people looking at me weird, trying to pinch my butt, whatever. Get out of there. That's what being assertive is. It's not staying in the environment, trying to talk people down. Don't do this. Don't do that. That's going into an environment that you have no business being in, trying to bully and tell people what to do. This is the whole thing about narcissistic abuse. This is why you cannot beat and fight narcissists, especially on their playing field. This is why they win every time. Ultimately, one of the traps that we fall into as empaths is we keep going back to the narcissist, or we allow them into our life, and then we start telling them what to do. Don't talk to me like that. Don't, you know what I mean? Over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. But at the same time, we're saying, come back, right? Or we're going to them. Doesn't work like that. So to be truly assertive, to answer this question, wrap it up. Know who you are. Know your values. Know what you want. Know how to get out of a situation. Know where you don't want to be. Know where you do want to be. And make sure that your boundaries that you set up and how you're treating people line up with where you're at, where you're going, what you're doing. Because then everything makes sense and everything lines up. And who can stop you? Who can say anything about you? Right? That's really what it comes down to. I hope that makes sense to you guys. Jessica Patrick, you got called a prude? Yeah, I've been called that too. I thought that was a virtue. And, well, don't hang out with those girls anymore. Good for you. It is a virtue. It is a virtue. And it's not prude. You have class. That's what you say. I'm not prude. I just have class. I have standards. And it's true, right? Just because you got friends that want to hang cigarettes off their lips and whatever, it doesn't mean you have to. It doesn't mean you're a prude. It just means you have different standards, right? And you're living according to those standards and those morals. People and friends who will respect you and understand you, they're not going to have a problem with that, right? But you will come across some people who will have a problem with that. I have. I went to a high school party one time when I was, gosh, must have been 17, and I wasn't drinking anything. And at the time, I started going to church, and I was at this party with a girlfriend of mine that I was dating at the time, and a guy that I knew at the party. I thought he was gonna fight me. He just would not let it. He would stand next to me with another guy, and he would say things like, "You know what I hate? I hate when people come to a party and they don't drink. Hate that. Why even come? What?" And he was just getting angry and angry and getting closer to me and closer to me. He was really bothered that I was not participating. And as I look back, he was right. What was I there for? What was I there for? See, this is the thing of making sure that you're lining up, right? And you're living out what you're saying. You're living out the boundaries that you're trying to place around you, right? We can't avoid and we can't escape places in the world. Obviously we live in the world, so you're going to be out there. But there's no need to dive headfirst into these situations and places where we really have no business being, and trying to assert different boundaries in there. It's gonna create problems, right? Hope that makes sense. Going places you have no business going. Right. That's the Royal We motto, Blue. Narcissistic abuse, a lot of it is a result of being with people you have no business being with, doing things you have no business doing, going places you have no business going. Right. Hope that makes sense. They got convicted. They did. This is what happens. Yep. Mike says, I've been called all kinds of names. Yeah. 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 It happens. It happens. Never served alcohol in my home, but he loved to drink and would question it. My siblings, I still don't buy it. Right on, guys. Well, I hope you guys are doing good tonight. 40-year class reunion coming up. All they're going to do is eat and drink at a local brewery. Doubt you'll go. D. Yeah, I'll be honest with you guys. I haven't been to, let's see this question. Kevin, how to tell a female ex-narc to leave you alone? A female ex-narc to leave you alone. No contact, and this is for Jules, right? No contact is about you. And it's rules that you put around yourself. It's self-discipline, okay? You can tell narcissists to leave you alone all day. They might listen to you, they might not, okay? But it's not about what they will and won't do. It's about you and your positioning to it. How are you responding to it? Abusive narcissists can be very crafty in luring you into engaging with them. And they'll do this any number of ways, calling you names, texting you, whatever, okay? The way to really say leave me alone is to be very short, very precise. Let your yes be yes, your no be no, right? She says, you guys like my ringtone? Got a call from Texas. But I hope that makes sense to you. Caller from Texas, you're live on the Royal We. Hello? No, guess not. Guess not. But, so anyways, Jules, yeah, I hope that makes sense to you. Oh, there's a caller from Texas again. You're live on the Royal We.
Hi.
Hi. Hello.
Hi. I was wondering if there was anything I could add because you're nailing it. This is Shelley.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. What's going on with you tonight?
Well, the last call that you had, I guess it was Katie,
Yes.
and it sounded like you were familiar with her. And I heard what she did. I've done the same thing over the past year.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I don't see any other way to do it. I mean, half my life's gone, and I've tried many ways, and that's what I see to do.
Right.
It's just go, just get up.
Yeah. As far as going,
You
as
know,
far
and
as
I think
as far as going no contact with family members.
absolutely. I mean, and it started, where, when I was, had this situation in my life where I had children and thought it would be there, and it wasn't.
Right.
And I kept, and here I had to make that choice.
Yeah.
And it was the hardest, like Katie said, the hardest choice I ever made.
Yeah, it is hard. It's a very hard choice to make.
It is hard. It is, but through that, I understand that my life's gotten a lot better through that.
Good.
Like being able to know who I am, and just like I hear these other people that unfortunately have had the experience that they have been able to heal through your channel, and I can say that you've helped me tremendously.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
And thank you.
I appreciate that.
Sometimes, I've questioned, hey, I've had to have done the right thing. And I know I did.
Mm-hmm.
It's just hard when you're watching your children go back, over that way. And he has family, I have nobody, So I think that's the hardest thing.
Yes.
But I know it's the right thing.
Right.
Why? Sometimes I've been angry, even, hey, God, why so much, because it's a lot.
Right.
And it seems unfair that life isn't fair.
It's that's an interesting way to put it, and I've heard that life isn't fair, and there's a lot of truth to that, right? I think that it's one of the difficulties that we have is trying to look at life is being fair, right? We want to have what other people have, and we want to get what other people get, and that's not the way that life works out. If that's what you mean when you say that life isn't fair, a lot of us.
But when's it get good? When does it stop? I guess when you stop dealing with people that aren't for you, I guess, huh?
I'm sorry, what?
I said, when does it get good? You have children, and I want to show my children like happiness and how to be, and I feel like their whole childhood has been this,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not fair to them, and but nobody takes responsibility because there has to be somebody to blame, and I know that the kind soul that I am,
Mm-hmm.
that then,
Yeah.
what do you do? Except just go,
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for calling.
Well, is there any advice that you can give me as far as, moving forward?
As far as what? I'm sorry?
Moving forward.
Moving forward with life.
Yeah.
It's
Just like, you don't have anybody. You don't have anybody to show your children, hey, this is Aunt, such and such, my sister. And, it's like the same thing the other lady said, I'm sorry about the, I said, I get nervous a little bit, I guess, alive, but I don't really care who hears me because I know my truth. But,
well, this is the greatest
I
community
guess
right here. So you're in a good, safe community here.
you have no idea. I mean, I'm so grateful. I it's not like I'm a weak person either. I've been through a lot. This started, I knew at 12 I had to go. But I kept going back thinking, hey, people change, people grow. But that didn't ever happen. And it was me that was always changing, and they were moving the goalposts, and I took my children away, and I did this, and I did that. And here I am going through a divorce where you would think that people would be there for you, but they're not, And I don't want them, it's not even that I want that anymore. I just want, kind of to know what to do, to
Right.
You know, I mean, how do I show my children, hey, I'm the one that's okay, but I have nobody? You know, how does that make sense to them?
How does it make sense to them that you're okay having nobody?
Yeah. Yeah, well, that I'm okay, but I'm the one that nobody's around, that, you know, I have nobody around me. You know,
Right.
how's
Right.
that okay?
Right.
You know, that's what doesn't,
It's
you know, seem,
sure, but ultimately it's not the quantity of people you have around you, but it's the quality of life that you live. Okay? So, we have this idea, and this is something we need to kick, that we have to be surrounded by people all the time, that we have to be around all these loving people all the time, and if we don't, then that means that there's something wrong. There's nothing wrong if you don't, right? Again, it just comes down to knowing who you are and pursue the things that bring joy and peace into your life. Okay? So if that means you just go and you spend time going to church, then that's what you do. um you know what I mean? You don't have to go by what other people think is and what your kids think it should look like. That's not what
okay.
that's not what it is. Your kids will have more respect for you, as a matter of fact, if they see that you don't give in, right? That you know who you are. That's really what they're looking for. Everybody wants identity, right? And one of the issues that
Okay.
you're still struggling with, most likely, is your identity, because you're still looking for
Yeah.
this identity from the outside. You're looking for your identity through other people. Okay.
How could you tell that by what I said?
Right. And so what
See,
you
just,
so
I asked you how, not to be rude, but how do you know, how could you tell that by what I said?
how can I tell what that you're looking for identity?
That I'm looking, yes.
Well, because of the fact that you're talking about how to let your kids know, and what are your kids going to think of you because you don't hang out with anybody, and this and that, right? It just sounds to me like you're
Mm-hmm.
looking for that identity. You believe that you have to be surrounded by people, and in order to be somebody, and you don't. You don't.
But again,
Your identity is you, who you are, what you do, how you treat people, right? What you spend your time doing. Okay? It doesn't have to be with
okay,
others. It doesn't have to be with others. You can
yeah.
go out and with
I
your
haven't really known, but
you can go out with your kids, and you can maybe go get a cup of coffee, and your kids will be more impressed with how you treat that person behind the counter than anything else, right? Because this is just your daily activities and who you are, and you living out of who you are. That's the most important thing, I would say.
I
And
see.
and if you focus on that,
I
that's going to be how you move on and how you heal. But if you're constantly looking for how you can get somebody else in your life, somebody to help you form this identity, you're going to run into narcissistically abusive situations. Because anytime you have this
well,
need from this outside, you're going to invite that wolf in who can lie to you and tell you, yeah, I'll butter you up.
mm,
I'll love you. Oh, you're beautiful. Oh, you're this. Oh, you're that. And before you know it, you're letting them into your world, and they're taking everything you got, and then they're on their way out
yeah.
to the next. Okay. So this is why
Well,
it's
well,
important for you.
well, I don't feel like I need somebody in my life as far as any like. Yeah, it'd be nice, like to have, you know, like a sister or something. But as far as a relationship, I'm far off from that.
Right.
Far. I mean, but and as far as like even if I go to the gym, I just I go to the gym a lot. I'm pretty like quiet, you know, and I feel like I don't let anyone like close to me,
Yeah.
and I do feel alone. But that's how I want to be.
Well, I'm going to
Yeah.
share with you. I'm going to
Like
share with you some of the things that the community is saying here. D Doll says playing with pets, enjoying hobbies, concerts, sporting events, sitting in the
yeah.
mall, look at all the weird people walk by. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So these are just
Yeah.
some things. And she also says, D, thank you so much for this. D says happiness is not based on being with somebody else. I have finally seen how that can be possible. And then she also says people are always going to come and go. The only person you will always have is you, and that's the truth. You have to be able
Yes.
to you have to be able to live with yourself, right? if you can conquer that, be okay with that, be at peace with that, then everything else is going to fall into place. You have to be at peace with yourself.
Well, I think I spent years trying to go back and do, like, that insanity thing where you go back over and over trying to make things right because you just don't understand it, And, and when I started reading before I found you, and I listened to many other people, but there was something, and it's maybe the other subscribers feel the same way. I'm not sure, but there was something about your truth that just like hit straight home, and it's not flattery. It's just like, yeah, hey,
Yeah.
And even like some of the comments, I can tell that that the experiences have been the same.
Yeah.
And yes, I understand that, like, doing things I enjoy and stuff, but it is hard to like do things and not share them. And now my kids are going that way. They have family and they have cousins and such, and I have nothing like that to offer.
Okay. Yeah.
Nothing, So I think that's the deal, So I like you said, just through me finding me, and treating that person behind the coffee counter. But that's what they're looking for is for me to have my identity, and I guess that unfortunately at my age, I hate to admit it, but maybe I just don't have a solid like I need to,
Yeah.
But I'm working on it, and I felt like I used to have it until the situation.
Right.
And I'm actually have a sense of humor, and I've been finding that more than I thought I would over the past few weeks. It's just coming off. I'm thinking of funny things and saying funny things, and I'm laughing even at myself.
Good.
So that's good. That's a start.
Good. Well, listen. Good. It's good to hear. Good to hear. You'll be all right. Listen, I'm going to let you go, but thank you so much for calling. Appreciate it. And call back, okay?
Thank you. Thank you so much for everything.
All righty. Good night. All right. So we'll take one more telephone call to wrap this night up, guys. And I want to thank you guys so much for video went offline. Looks like it's still going here. We're gonna wrap this up. So if there's one more telephone caller out there would like to call in and chat before we sign off, go ahead and do that now. And while you are waiting to call, and I see a new subscriber, thank you so much for subscribing as well. Guys, you are welcome to email with your questions. You can also text at the telephone number that's being provided here on this show. And guys, if you guys are interested in supporting the Royal We, you can support the Royal We by purchasing merchandise. There's merchandise, I believe, down below. If not, right now, it will be down there later. Or you can also find it on the main Royal We channel. Also, guys, this particular channel is not monetized. Another call from Texas. You're live on the Royal We. Go ahead and do that now. Hello. While you are waiting to call, is somebody there? Driving as well. Guys, okay. I guess not. Guys, but you're welcome to do that and to buy merchandise. You're live on the Royal We.
Hey, wait a minute, Kevin. Let me turn this off real quick.
Okay.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Great. I just wanted to say how happy I am we're back. And
good. Thank you. It's good to be back.
Yeah, I imagine. It's interesting, but everything's going great. I don't have any complaints. I don't have any. Just it's really a blessing today. I went and had to have some blood work done, and you never know how God's going to work in your life. And I've just recently gotten really comfortable with things, and I walked in there and she started talking to me. It's like she just really needs somebody to talk to. Really nice lady, and she's telling me an example of a kid that was put on a toxic side and sort of maybe trying to affect her sister's son and possibly affecting her son and her, which he's having to study really hard.
Mm-hmm.
And everything else comes really easy. This other kid, and I said, well, yeah, you may not want that around him because, that's sort of a sign of a toxic person that just manipulating her, and she thinks he's smoking pot, and he can go ace all the SAT tests, right tomorrow, but he won't. He just wants to be street smart.
Mm-hmm.
And so we got to talking about this, and all of a sudden we started talking about narcissism. And I mean, boy, it's just like from everything I've learned from you and everything I've learned up till now since December, she said, I just laid out her husband,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like, she said, I felt like I've been in an emotional prison.
Right.
For years. He was not physically. She said, matter of fact, I could whoop his ass if I wanted to, but
mentally,
mentally, emotionally, she feels like she's been in bars of emotionally. And I thought, wow. And it's weird. Just by the time we got through talking, I mean, we talked I didn't even realize she took my blood, and we just were really getting it all the way in there, and then all the way, and finally, it's like you could see the bars breaking around her,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
you can see her feel free. Just the fact that somebody related to her,
Right. That's good. That's good. That's that empath coming out in you, right? And this is a good place to be because you're able to resonate with other people, right? Through that open line of honesty.
Exactly.
Well, very cool.
Yeah, I feel empathically. Speaking of that, I don't know. I mean, when you talked about cussing, I do. I don't have I do have sort of a potty mouth. It's not super
Mm-hmm.
bad, but it sort of comes out, and I really want to correct that. So much of me is on the wrong side of the empath side. Does that make sense? It's like trying to get myself over there totally.
Well, yes and no. I mean, we're not perfect, right? But you're watching these videos, you're learning, you're trying to understand yourself better. Okay. And you're able to have these communication, these conversations with other people and understand where they're coming from and kind of feel that pain, feel that hurt. That's a good spot to be in. So if you're striving to get in that direction, you're on the right path.
Well, thanks.
And
I appreciate that.
And as far as the cussing and stuff like that, like you said, it's something that you're trying to stop. Okay. So now if you were sitting here saying, well, yeah, I cuss, so what? Who I am, shut up, this and that. You know what I mean? Okay, so now you're still quite a bit over on the other side. You know what I mean? And that's typically what we're dealing with. It's not, every now and then a word slips. Okay, and I have words slip every now and then, but depending on who I'm around, I'll catch it typically and say, "Oops, I didn't mean to say that," or "I'm sorry." Right? That's because you catch it, you realize it. Oh my gosh, did that come out? I don't want that to come. I don't want to be like that. Right? So that is very empathic. Your ability to catch yourself, to second guess, and you do that based on who's around you. You know what I mean? And because you understand the power of words, you understand the importance of integrity. So you're going to catch it. And if you're in this place where you're catching it, right, then you're definitely in the right place. You're on the right path.
Sinful. I hear you.
Yeah.
Well, good. Are y'all having a good summertime where you're at?
Yeah, absolutely. It's hot. Man, is it hot. The Midwest is not only hot, but it's what do you call it? Humid. So.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
How hot are you talking about?
Well, I think with the humidity, it makes it feel hotter than it actually is. But it's in the upper 80s. But with the humidity, that's what really gets it. It just makes you sweat. You know what I mean? A lot. And it makes you feel really hot. Really hot.
No, I understand. We're talking at least 95 and 80% humidity.
Yeah. Yeah.
over here. We're right next to Louisiana by the swamps
Oh
over
yeah.
in Texas.
Yeah. So you get it. You understand it. You understand the temperature. So, but we're
Oh
enjoying
yeah.
it. I'm enjoying the thunderstorms over here. There's nothing like a good Midwest thunderstorm. We had a tornado scare not too long ago, and had to hunker down and take cover. Tornado dropped a couple miles north of where I'm at, so that was a wild experience. I didn't get tornadoes in California, so that's a new one for me. Thunderstorms are amazing. I love the Midwest thunderstorms, man. They're big and loud and lot of fun. So, thank you for asking. I appreciate it. And I'm glad that you called. Thank you for calling in.
All right. Well, thanks, Kevin, and hope you have a good week.
You too. You too. Have a great week. Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap the show up. Who's in California? Had 102 temperature, Mary. Man, wow. I think, Mary, because I grew up in California, I think that the 102 temp is kind of like the upper 80s here with the humidity. It kind of equals almost the same. I know you're saying no way, it's impossible, but there's something about the humidity in the Midwest. Still getting used to. Blue, I'm glad I'm okay too. Tornadoes are no joke. If you want to be scared, and I'm sure you, I don't know if you've ever been around a tornado. I don't know, but it's pretty wild. That's for sure. Sky turns green. It really does, guys. I saw the sky turn green, and then I'll tell you the tornado story because being from California, I wasn't used to it, so I was outside watching it so I can make sure I know what's going on. And yeah, we had the news and we had the radar up and we're watching this thing, but I was outside and the wind was picking up, and all of a sudden it was probably 4:30 in the afternoon, and all of a sudden it started to look like nighttime. The sky was green one moment, the next moment it started to get black, like dark out. And I was on the phone with one of my cousins and I said, "Hey, is it getting nighttime already?" And he said, "No, that's the storm. It literally just covers the area with darkness," and was very scary. Very thick, dark clouds. Then the wind was coming. Then the rain was coming. Then the hail was coming. And then that's when you know it's right on top of you. And so, fortunately for us, it kept going north. So, typically, when you start to see the hail, that means there's a funnel kind of forming in and around there. But it was going north of us, and little funnels were hitting north of us. It was a pretty nasty storm. It traveled over, from what I understand, quite a few states. Before coming into Missouri, it's amazing how these storm fronts they track them on radar and they really move over a bunch of states, and it keeps its form for a long time. Really wild, but good thing to experience. It is scary. Of course, I wanted to get my camera out there and take some footage and see how I could put it in some kind of a narcissistic abuse video, right? So, all right, guys. Well, with that, I'm going to wrap this up, and I'm so glad that you guys were all here. Uh, Nobody know what to expect. I don't think your weather's normal, though. It's had its own personality this year. Yeah, it has. Yep, yeah. Harp is no joke. Just saying, Blue, you had to bring up Harp. I love it. Who remembers Harp? Harp is still doing their thing. Blue is Harp still sending earthquakes around the world? Um, yeah, Harp is no joke. I know. Thank you guys so much for being here. I look forward to seeing you guys next Monday night. I'm going to do some more to push this out there so we get more people involved, more people calling in. I do take phone calls all throughout the week as well. And for those of you guys who would like to donate, please donate through the regular Royal We channel through PayPal. I did not get the PayPal set up on this particular channel or the other one, Patreon. I didn't get anything set up. This channel is not monetized, so any donations you guys give for this effort would be greatly appreciated and would help this to grow. And I want to continue to push it out there through notifying others so they can join in as well, guys. This is your family channel, and I'm so glad that you guys are here. So spread the word, invite your friends, and let's hang out and talk and let the healing continue right here on the Royal We Live. Totally woke. Right on. Huge red pill. Harp. Blue, you and I would probably have uh, great conversations about HARP and NASA and oh, I'm saying too much already, huh? All right, guys. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and we will be back next Monday night right here on this channel for the Royal We Live. Good night, everybody.